Hello, hello. We are live, as far as I know. It's going to try another one of these quick fix live things on Facebook, which I don't know how people connect or anything, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Should be being joined by Blackout Orchestra quite soon. And what you're hearing now is my remix of Blackout Orchestra's It's Fine. You can get this on Bandcamp exclusively. There's 3 remixes and a B-side exclusively on Bandcamp, which out today is Bandcamp Friday, and all the money goes to the artists, so please do support it. The normal song is streaming everywhere. That was released via our Singles Club, which is, in case you don't know, a subscribers club by which you get a brand new track at the beginning of every month, a surprise track from a band that you hopefully have never heard of, or potentially have never heard of. And then during the month we do a press build up, and obviously all the money from the people who join the club gets put into the band's kind of promotional drive. And so yeah, so that's how it works, and it's just our way of kind of combating low streaming rates and stuff like that. And yeah, that's kind of how it works. We also got loads of other releases on the label, so check us out, www.quickfixrecordings.com. And hopefully Blackout Orchestra should be... There you go. Oh, wait. I had a request, but I lost it. Send another. It's funny that happened during the I never know what's going on bit. Right, so it says my viewers here, but it doesn't say anybody at the moment. So, and it says that I've allowed viewers to request to join me. So you can request if you like, and hopefully it'll pop up. We'll see. Maybe the internet doesn't want to play ball, or Facebook. So yeah. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I guess talk amongst yourself for a second whilst I try and work out what's going on. If you are in the Singles Club, you'll have just received King Crash single. That's an example of the new thing coming at the beginning of the month, and then we'll work it over this month, and then it'll come out at the end of the month on streaming, just with the one song, and then the extra bits will be on Bandcamp for people who like to download stuff. You can still stream it on Bandcamp as well, so but I don't think we get anything for that, but you know, whatever. The amount that we get from the other stuff is so little anyway, it doesn't exactly matter. Right, there you go. Yes, okay. Cool. So I'm trying to click on... I think you need to send me a request, because I'm trying to click on your name and it's not doing anything. So I'm just pushing the screen a lot. But there you go. Allow them. Hell yeah, I approve. It says adding with a Riddler-esque question mark, so which is bodes well for me because I like Batman. So yeah, it says it's adding. So just connecting. Yeah. Right, I can stop that now.
Uh-oh.
How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. You've just cut out of our larger speaker, so let me see if I can fix that.
Oh dear. Well, did I speak too loudly? Did I blow? Oh, you've now, yeah. There you go.
We can hear you just fine. It's all right.
Yeah.
That's right. I won't talk quite as loud from now on. I'll talk a bit quieter so that I'm not blowing anything. So, how are you since last we spoke?
Doing all right. Life keeps happening.
Yeah, we played a park show, right? Since the last time we spoke.
That was after. That was the day after.
That was the day after.
I think that was literally the day. Yeah, that was. I spoke to you the morning after that. So yeah. So yeah, awesome. Well, and are you enjoying the? I'm sorry. Say again.
Said it went really well, but we were ejected from one of the parks. The police came up and they busted us. But as we were setting up, and well, I was setting up with Starship Experience, and they came up and they're just like, this is at Trinity Bellwoods, and I was worried about that, right? Because Trinity Bellwoods is a huge, huge park. And so they came up and they kicked us out. And one of us mentioned that we were going to also be playing at Christie Pitts. And they were just like, no, you're not, because we patrolled there too.
Right.
And we're just like we didn't know what to do. And then they were just like, you know, we don't patrol at Stanley Park. And so we were just like, okay. Yeah. So we just moved everything to Stanley Park and did it there well into the night. It was
nice
really
of them
cool.
to say. That's nice of them to say. I'm sure they don't do that to bank robbers. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, as it happens, we don't really look at that bank at all. So that one's like fair game. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
Security isn't very tight at the Toronto Dominion Bank on King Street. So if you wanted to rob somewhere, in theory.
Yeah, so it's nice. At least, then musicians get treated slightly better than maybe we think, in a way. So that's nice. So speaking of which, musicians get all the money today from Bandcamp, and so we're doing this kind of to thank you, Ian. Thanks for getting the record.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Glad you like it. That's great. That's great news. I was just going to ask you guys how you feel about the remixes and having your own work thrown back at you in a reconstituted fashion.
I love it. You know, this is probably that like artists never think that highly of their own work kind of thing. But when I was getting the remixes back, I'm like, this should be the real version. Like these are better versions. I like these have a better vibe.
It's I think probably plays a lot that you didn't have to do anything to bring them to that fruition as well.
That's true.
Are you talking about the remixes?
Yeah.
My partner John, he's really picky with his music, and I sent him your remix, and he just loved it, and he had listened to it like 8 times by in an hour or something. He just had it playing on repeat, so I'm excited about that.
Which I'm sure means he's going to buy it from Bandcamp today.
He might, although he's not listening.
If not, then at least that track will look really good on the Bandcamp. Which ones have been played the most?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a little ego boost for me at the very least, I guess. So that's nice. But no, it was actually weird because usually I'm really I try and include absolutely everything from the original song in some fashion or the other, and there are quite a bit the bass is in there pitched up and then turned backwards and put through an effect, and even the drums are put through a weird thing that just makes them go wah 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 kind of thing and stuff like that. But also afterwards, when I heard the other remixes from other people, I was like, specifically the NZM one, I was like, I didn't even use the bass line. It's such a good bass line, but then I guess it's good because then that one figures it features really strongly in that one and gives it its own kind of flavor and stuff like that. And I Like My Time Alone, I haven't even got that line in my version at all.
Yeah, it's on
in his version. It's really main, it's really obvious and that. And I was like, didn't even use that.
Yeah, it's interesting because that's on a separate stem track thing because it's got the effect on it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's interesting, but yeah, one of the things,
so I was just like, I'll just loop that.
One of the things I really like about it is you sort of get an idea of it's these other musicians that we like, and them seeing what they find most interesting about the song is sort of what they choose to highlight is really interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, and so it sort of lets you see it from a new light.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was when I was making the chorus of mine, I put in Morgan's vocal first, and then I was like, that sounds nice on its own. Actually, I think I'll give you the I come in as not quite backup singer, but a counterpoint, if you know what I mean. And it's that sounds really nice actually. So that kind of immediately set up how the chorus was going to be for me, if you know what I mean. And so certain little things like that just define it as you're going, if you know what I mean. I guess this is going to be like this then. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I find it remixing such a pressure off thing, being honest. It's just so so much fun to not think, all right, this is the definitive article and I have to play all the bits and like all the bits that I hear that I played and stuff like that. Do you get that as you do like so much?
Absolutely. And even as like, what's interesting as a fan and, you know, coming up, listening to music, particularly in the 90s where remix EPs and full remix albums even were pretty common. There's remixes I like really like, and then remixes that I think are just like, what, these, you know, this is completely superfluous, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And what's been interesting is like hearing the remixes back of these songs, or this song, it's ones that if I were a fan I would be like, oh yeah, that's a really cool essential version.
Yeah, this was a good CD single that I bought. This was Björk had a couple where like the remixes would be like, wow, is this as good as the original? There's like a Fluke hyper ballad remix, which is like, it's so lush that it's obviously not as good as the original because hyper ballad's amazing, but it's so good that you kind of go, wow, this is. And it's a weird thing to diverge across to, but Cypress Hill, which one is it? There's a T-Ray mix of hits from the Bong, which is really blissful, and it's kind of as good as the original. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's.
Well, I remember as a youngster, I picked up. So there's the remix Further Down the Spiral, the Nine Inch Nails remix album, but then there was, I guess, the version that you probably got. It was the non-domestic version. That was, I guess, the UK version that had a couple of extra things on it. And one of them was a remix of Ruiner that was like almost a dance remix. And it was like, that blew my mind when I first heard it.
So big in it, aren't they?
Yeah.
The horns. It's like, I've got both formats of that because I'm a Trent geek, but so I've got mostly everything. I don't want to say everything because there's other people who go, you haven't got that. But yeah, I got a lot. But yeah, that was a big remix album for me when that came out. And I really love the Things Falling Apart, the thing from the Fragile, like the remix thing of that, except it's got a few too many, I don't know if we're allowed to say the F word, but Star, that one. Yeah, it's got a few too many mixes of that. It's got like 3 or something. And by the time that you've got on the third one, you're like, yeah, okay, I get it. Especially because it's such an abrasive, shouty chorus of like, do you know what I mean? Stop! Do you know, it's like, yeah, okay, I get it already. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian Strong is the schizo mix of Just Can't Get Enough by Depeche Mode, which is great. So good, because it's so happy and then goes so dark and twisted, doesn't it? It's like, oh, what's going on now? So that's really good. Awesome. And do you have that same struggle that I was talking about when you're doing your mixes, because you play everything? Are you like hypercritical of your playing and so really like, oh, I don't want that up in the mix and stuff like that?
Yes.
Or do you just play it until you get it right so you've got less to worry about later? Because I should just do that.
To be honest, I'm pretty lazy when it comes to the actual recording part.
Tracking,
Well, I do find myself often like, I'll be like, oh, the song's finished, and then like 3 weeks later I'll be like, I'm redoing that vocal, it's terrible. Or things like that. But yeah, the mixing actually comes pretty, it's not scientific at all. It's like, I play with the levels until it sounds like I think it should sound.
Cool.
So it's like, it takes some time to play with it, but I'm not like, oh, that needs to be brought up, or that, I'm just kind of like, something's not right, and I play with it, and it feels right.
Right, yeah. Do you spend much time kind of like trying to look at, like, I don't know, like mixing tips and stuff like that? I know loads of people are really into kind of tutorials. I personally get a bit bored halfway through and go, I just want to get on with making the music, thanks.
Yeah, definitely less with the mixing side of things overall, but I do like the bits and pieces that I need to know as I go along. So after the first few demos, I was like, well, I need to know what mics to use for an acoustic guitar. I need to know what EQ, like where to boost and where to cut, and same with vocals and things like that. And that's been extremely helpful, but I really only do it when I get stuck on something, when I'm like, something's not right and I need to figure out how to fix this. Then, then I'll go to YouTube or wherever and be like, so what's the secret here?
Yeah. So it's still more of a practical, like as and when kind of application. Yeah. Hello, Alex, by the way. He says, how do you love the new single? spool good. Yeah, so I need to hook you guys up. I'm thinking of doing a another vidcast with like get Critic Cabal and Blackout Orchestra.
Sweet.
And get you guys chatting, because I think that would be like 5 people in total, so that's probably enough for a show. But that's enough voices competing. As it is, poor Morgan's left because she's like, I'm not going to get a word in edgeways.
Hopefully she'll be back. She knows that we're supposed to play and talk more. I think she's just
it's all right. When she comes back, we'll get a song in. I just wanted to let the room maybe fill out a little, because I wasn't sure we even let people know that we were doing this like with enough time then. So yeah, wicked. Yeah, so It's Fine is obviously out streaming and everything. And you have you got many more plans, like for, I guess, more gigs and more kind of, you know, activity as a unit?
We're taking sort of gigs as they come, where they're, you know, they trickle in, and then it's a case of like how prepared are we to take any risks depending on the type of show and everything.
Right.
More what we're doing right now is we've been I keep saying it's almost done. The next record, I think I'm gonna finish my vocals for that. There's a couple songs that I still need to finish, so I'm gonna finish my vocals on that this weekend. Probably get Morgan to work the next weekend on the last couple of songs.
Yeah.
And then we should be ready to, I mean, then it's still months off, but then we should be ready to get it mastered and then send off everything so we can get some vinyls printed and all that jazz.
Right. Yeah, still a huge rigmarole even after the work is done, isn't it? So yeah.
It's almost done, and it'll be out in 8 months.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with a major, that's the one thing that you do have as an indie artist. With a major, they get a record 6 months before it comes out, and that means you have to. Do you know what I mean? That's like a lot. Your record could be just totally out of step. Like, I felt like when the pandemic happened, there must have been so much work that had been done by people that they just felt would be totally irrelevant to release at a certain time. I don't know, like songs about going out and having a good time or anything, like, do you know what I mean? Or films, I don't know, films that were certain themes or whatever, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, there's sort of two sides to that. I mean, things like one of the first albums that I really loved that came out during the pandemic was Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. And
right.
It, just by sheer accident, perfectly suited the mood and sort of general zeitgeist at the time.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to us putting stuff out, like we're always out of step with everything. So I'm pretty okay with it. I'm like, we'll be out of step again, no matter when we put this out. So
yeah, I always feel like, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I really don't expect anyone to want this weird like pot of stuff that I like just chucked in, like, here, now have this for your food. And it's like, what? Why are you combining those flavors on me? I don't even like that flavor to start with or whatever. So yeah, so I always feel like, yeah, a bit of an experimental chef, like going out into the street going, taste this. No. During a pandemic, that's going to be even more so, like, no.
The taste,
so, yeah.
1 out of 50 people love it, which means, you know, it might not be great for the main menu, but it's something.
That's still a load of people when you count about how many people there are in the world, though, I guess. So, you know, it's just finding them, isn't it? That's the struggle. So, yeah. Where's Morgan? Is she back yet?
She's still in the washroom. I think she's having her morning constitutional. She'll be back soon. I hope.
Yeah, I forget what time is it now for you guys? It must be coming 11:20 or something.
Yeah, just past 11.
Right. Yeah, it's like 4:20. Not that I'm gonna start blazing up or anything, but because I've got this to do, obviously. But
I mean, I'm sober, but I don't judge. You know, do your thing.
No, it's good to being honest, like, life is hard, and whatever people kind of rely on to get through it, it's not for me to say that they're wrong, as long as it's not predatory or, you know, damaging to people in, you know, other people in some way. I even believe, like, you know, damaging to yourself, it's like, well, you know, It's my body.
Yeah, that's one of those things, like, as being a sober person, coming up on about 2 years, where there's a
Right.
sober community, which is pretty cool. But some aspects of it, sometimes it's very judgmental of people who are not. And as far as I'm concerned, I had a problem. That doesn't mean you do, like,
Yeah.
do your thing. I couldn't because of the way it affected me, but that doesn't mean it affects you in a negative way necessarily. So
Yeah.
it's just
It's a
about
very
your own
personal.
self-awareness.
It's a very personal thing, I think. All of that. That if it's treated with too many brushstrokes, it's bad in general, because you can't really get to the source of problems by treating things as big generalizations anyway. So, especially when it's helping individuals, which is what really that's all about, isn't it? So yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so, and like that past, like, I guess, informed your work, like, what you, and I guess helped you be really productive, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it's like suddenly I had a lot of time. I had a lot of money that I wasn't spending on drinks. And it's just sort of what I needed to do to get my head together. It was just that mix of things where it was not only that I was drinking very heavily at that point in my life, but that was also the end of a relationship that was intense, and that was also when I wanted to try to get just generally more healthy physically.
Yeah.
So it all just sort of came together at the right time, and then came out through the record in a lot of ways. It was just something that I needed to process through that, and that was a huge step to me sort of moving forward to the next phase of my life.
Hugely positive as well, like, to be able to turn that into art and everything. It's like it's a great thing, right? Rather than turning it into, I don't know, an awful life in crime or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we're very lucky musicians that we've got this thing that we can channel, like, so much negative stuff in our lives, like, through, and kind of make at least some kind of sense of it in that kind of regard, I guess. So yeah. Morgan, you're back. I was going to ask you, before you do start singing, are you looking forward to singing in, well, your deadline seems to be not this weekend, but next weekend. Are you looking forward to doing the vocals on this next record?
This weekend, probably, for the last couple of songs on the next record.
Yeah.
And then you would probably have to record the next weekend, was my plan. So,
yeah,
this is news to her.
But
No, this is news to me.
Yeah, date even pending.
I mean,
but even date pending, what are you looking forward to about, and what are you looking forward to about it? What are you looking forward to about
recording?
it?
I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Like, what aspects of recording?
Specific songs? Is there anything that you're like, oh, I can't wait to do this bit, or I really like this?
I like kind of toying with the, like, Ben gives me recommended notes, and I like messing around with them. So yes. I guess that aspect of it is pretty exciting to me. That's one of the reasons why I like recording, and I also just kind of, I like the sound of my own voice coming through the headphone speakers. Right?
No, that's
like
I hate it. So that's usually when you've got a good voice. Do you know what I mean? Because you're actually not like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, she loves the part I can't stand. So I mean, that's interesting. Me
too. I'm right there. Half the work is getting it to something you can stand, isn't it? I feel like.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember the first time that I recorded ever. It was a little surreal, and I felt really dumb because I was in a room with like 3 other people, and I knew that they couldn't hear any of they couldn't hear the same things that I could hear, right? And I was just singing Yaz, I think, or something, in a Starship song of like the life and times of Starship Experience, and it did not feel natural, but I've gotten used to it, considering how long I've been singing, like through, choir and like various contests and like karaoke, obviously, and I haven't really had a load of experience with recording up until about 5 years ago. 4 years ago, maybe, because I just wasn't in a band and there was no need to record me.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the just absolutely hating the recording process and hating yourself throughout it is something that comes with time. Maybe that's yeah. You'll get there, Darren. You'll get there.
Nah, I love it. I love the sound of my
Hopefully it will only
voice. You
get
can tell
better.
by how much I talk.
Yeah, hopefully it'll only get better. But yeah, the wicked. So, and are there any particular songs that you've heard already that you're like, oh, can't wait to weave my magic on that?
Not really. All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
No. There you go, Beth. Well done.
I'm always excited to see what she comes up with, because I often, when I get a song, like all of my stuff done, I'm like, well, this is pretty close to a finished version, and then I give it to her and I'm like, whoa, wait, that breaks the whole thing open. I gotta start mix this from scratch and change everything in terms of like the levels, because it's a brand new song. So I'm excited to see what she does with it, and how she breaks all of the previous plans I had for how they should sound.
And do you ever give her songs and like she doesn't like them? And Morgan, does he ever give you songs that you don't?
We have batted heads over harmonies before, because like I said, or like he just said, he'll record all of his harmonies, and then he'll be singing a harmony part that I think I would sound better singing, but he's already had it recorded, so just he wants to do it, and so there's that. Or like other times, I guess when we've sung live and it's of a recorded song that was in the previous album that I didn't participate quite as much with.
Right.
And I want to play with the harmonies, but because it's already recorded and on an album and out into the world, fixed. He wants it to stay the way that it is.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I almost find it difficult to, how do I put this? I'm really good at mimicking, but like the style is so different, I guess, to what I would like. It's
not a natural.
Songs, like,
Yeah, it's not
name any in particular.
To him.
But I guess that'll teach me to just not leave when he's recording.
If you're recording, you get to write the parts.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, I went to go visit my sister and my best friend during COVID, so I had to isolate for 2 weeks. So each time, so I was just gone for like a month and a half, basically, throughout the summer.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna start recording tomorrow, and 2 days later, she was like, well, I'm gonna be gone for the next month and a half, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm making a record on my own.
Yeah. And also, like, I wouldn't judge Ben too harshly, because it's probably like when he's done a harmony, he's probably like, no, but I actually like that vocal that I did. I want to keep that one.
It's so rare.
I found one that I like. Like, let me just keep that one. You do a new one. You've got a good voice. You can find another one.
You can find another one.
Now, here's the I don't mind when she changes the harmonies so much as I mind when she changes the words. She'll pick apart my grammar and be like, that should be are, not is. And I'm like,
oh, what song was
it's on the record. That's on West End.
West End, yeah. It's what is the lyric?
All I need is headphones and a beat.
All I need are headphones and a beat. Right? That drives me nuts with Jesse too in Starship Experience, where just like his grammar's all over the place. And he also tries to, like, his style.
It's rock and roll.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be able to speak.
It's something I'm getting used to. But with Starship Experience, Jesse, who does all of the songwriting, and we kind of have a similar relationship where he'll write songs, except he gives me full control over, like, he'll just be like, this is the song, here, just do something. And I'll be like, no ideas or anything, and I'll just be like, okay. But he likes to cram a lot of words. He's very wordy. And so I tend to sometimes just skip over words. And that used to drive him crazy. And now I think he's just sort of adjusted to it. Because, like...
I'm going to... so this is a perfect opportunity to bring up a little anecdote.
Yeah, go on.
So... obviously, Morgan has been in Starship Experience for years, and they're good friends of ours, and I love them. So, because that's where most of her experience is, in a lot of our interviews, she'll talk about her experience with Starship Experience specifically. And Starship Experience was interviewed, and it was with Save Toronto Music Venues a little while back. And Ashley from Save Toronto Music Venues, who was doing the interview, who we had spoken a couple of weeks previous to that,
Yeah, I
She
watched
kept,
that interview.
yeah, she kept sort of prodding Morgan, being like, "Is there anything else you want to mention? Any other projects you want to talk about?"
It was one particular question of like what Canadian bands would you really like playing with, and I can't remember what I said, but it definitely wasn't Blackout Orchestra. And she was just like, "Are you sure that's it?" And she was looking at me all weird, and I was like, I had no idea what she was talking about.
Yeah.
And there was another one at the end where she gave you a second chance, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Is there anything else you want to talk? Other projects you want to
You're,
talk about upcoming,
you're
or that
just
you want
too
to plug?"
close to it. You're too close to it to even recognize that it's a thing. So yeah.
Like, and she was laughing about it afterwards too. She's just like, "So Blackout Orchestra," and I'm just like, oh no, such a what a jerk.
I'm
Me,
gonna,
not her.
and because of that, I'm gonna write a harmony that you really hate for one of these songs. And make you sing it.
So speaking of such, let's hear some harmonizing, and I'll let you play a song. And I'll kind of like duck out of the way just because it seems awkward for me to just be sitting here like nodding or smiling. So yeah,
Camera on the audience.
yeah, I'll be right back. But yeah, what are you gonna play?
I think we'll do "It's Fine."
Brilliant,
What
wicked.
with it being
Sounds great.
the
Sell
song.
it, guys.
All right. With everyone, yes, you love me too. I don't know, soaking up the sun while I wait for you to come home. I guess it's just me, but I never know what's going on. You stay out all night. It's fine now. I'm fine now. I told you it's alright. It's fine now. I'm fine now. I like my time alone. I don't know why it even bothers me. What happened to your phone? I haven't heard from you in a day or two. Anxiety and jealousy, I'm breaking free. I wanna be so cool. Before I walk, collect my thoughts. There you are. You stay out all night. It's fine now. I'm fine now. I told you it's alright. It's fine now. I'm fine now. I'll figure it out. It's fine now. I'm fine now. Throwing matches on my dice. It's a fire now. It's a fire now. I'm fine now. It's fine now. I'm fine now. It's fine now. I'm fine now. It's fine now. I'm fine now. I'm fine now. I'm fine now.
Woo! Awesome. Reckon, there you go. Who wouldn't go out and buy that, hey? Who wouldn't?
Right.
Sorry,
You know what I
I
mean?
touched my throat halfway through that. And this is, I cannot describe to you how gross this stuff is. But
What
it's
is it?
worth
It's like name brand or not name brand, like store brand
Yeah, no
version
name.
of Crystal Light.
Yeah, so it's like the squeezy stuff that you put into water, and it's like, it just has a lot of aspartame in it, and I don't like the flavor of aspartame or stevia or whatever.
Sucralose.
Sucralose, also gross. Oh, hey, that rhymed. Good word.
Hey, that's the whole lyric for a song.
I don't think so.
It might be more of a Starship Experience one from the little bits I've caught on YouTube. It sounds like it might be more up their street, but yeah. So okay, well, before I let you play any more music, I think we're going to try this little duo quiz that I like to spring on people.
Okay.
It's a bit like you know, like the Newlyweds or Mr. and Mrs. quiz, that kind of a thing. So yeah, so what, because we don't have any buzzers and we don't have any booths to put you in with things on your ears, and that's all a bit of a rigmarole, we'll just do it so that you just kind of have to both answer maybe on 1, 2, 3 or something, and then you both answer at the same time.
Okay.
So okay, so who is Ben's favorite artist, musical artist? 1, 2, 3.
Radiohead.
Yours.
What did you just say?
Who did you say?
You said artist, not band.
Same thing.
Ah, right. Technically, okay. So yeah, that's my fault. The question was wrong, not the answer.
She's a
Don't
grammar
worry.
stickler. We've just totally covered this, right?
This is gonna this is gonna be a problem, isn't it? Yeah. So okay, let's flip that on its head. And who's Morgan's favorite musical act or artist entity? 1, 2, 3.
Rilo Kiley.
Ah, there you go. Right, so you score 1 for Ben. Someone keep score, by the way, because I'm really bad.
Would have been correct if the question was correct.
No, it
No.
wouldn't have been.
Last one.
I love Phoebe
Right,
Bridgers, but it probably would have been Tom York, maybe.
See,
Just
even
if
he
we're
doesn't
talking
know. I'm
Radiohead?
just saying.
Even solo. Would you rate his solo stuff that highly though?
I would. I love it. I'm a big sucker for
I like it. I've got it all, but you know, like, I can't say any nasty things about Tom because I've met him lots of times and he was really nice. And people say he's not, and maybe he's not to other people, but he's really nice to me. The times that I can't really say anything bad about him. But yeah, so I still support him no matter what he does. But yeah, I'm not sure I'd lift his solo work into like my favorite artist ever.
Interesting.
Yeah. But okay, right. But it's not about me. It's about you. So, what is Ben's pet peeve? 1, 2, 3.
Looking at your phone.
Well, yes, while watching movies and stuff too.
Or conversing, or yeah, in general.
Yeah.
But you need to answer.
I did, but I couldn't think of anything.
But that just shows how
I was going to say
unirritable
leaving
you
the fridge
must be.
door open.
So, and flip that on its head. What is Morgan's pet peeve? 1, 2, 3.
Criticism?
That's not a pet peeve. And I have no idea. I don't even know the answer to that question.
What do I do that really
Grammar.
annoys you? Snoring. Does that count?
Does that count?
I snore.
Yeah, snoring would count. Snoring would count. Grammar would count, definitely. So
We have to be, I mean,
So,
we still have to say the thing at the time.
But I couldn't think of anything.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you just got to go with your gut. You've just got to jump right
Maybe
in
give
there.
us
And just
5
be like,
seconds.
Give us,
instead of
give us
3.
a slower countdown. Just...
Okay, I'll give you 5. I'll give you 5. Yeah, okay, right. So, okay. No, I'm going to give you 3 on this one because it's an instinctive one. Love or money? 1, 2, 3.
Love.
Ah, thank goodness, eh? And
We've proven this a lot over the years.
Ben's favorite film. I'll give you 5 on this. 1. No, I'll count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lost in Translation.
Really?
I wanted to say Punch Drunk Love, but I couldn't.
That's not me.
I know. I get Lost in Translation and Punch Drunk Love mixed up. I don't think I've seen either of them.
Why? There's a weird like contextual thing that mixes those 2 up, I guess. Yeah.
Films that came out around the same
Love,
period.
Lost in Translation. It also has 3
Yeah,
words.
and about like being messed up in love, like love being messed up. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, and Morgan's favorite film? Counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How to Train Your Dragon.
It used to be Wreck.
I do also love Wreck.
What's the one you're saying?
She said How to Train Your Dragon. I said.
All right.
Yeah, Wreck like record. It's
Wreck's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It's definitely up there, but I have seen like How to Train Your Dragon is like I have a really weird movie tastes. I really like children's films like Pixar and How to Train Your Dragon, and I also love really messed up horror movies, and those are my 2 categories. So like, and that's it really. I'm not really into dramas or thrillers. It's just really mess with your mind and like not necessarily jump scares. Some people call it gore porn, and also
you're either on Shudder or Disney Plus.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Nothing in between.
Exactly.
So okay, cool. Okay, what's something that Ben always says, or a habit that he always does? I guess would also count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So it goes.
And drinking coffee. Will you make me coffee and drinking coffee? These are 2 things that he says a lot.
There's coffee related, definitely.
That's the better answer. That's the truer answer.
the blood life of creativity. Although I don't drink it, hot chocolate for me. But
actually, that's really funny because I don't drink caffeine either. And just wait, hold on 2 seconds. Just give me a second. It's cute, I promise.
Okay, no, it's going to be worth it. I'm looking forward to it.
So Ben really likes Earl Grey tea if he's gonna pick a tea.
Right.
And I really like hot chocolate. And so I was at the store the other day and I found like the perfect thing for us. So this is Earl Grey. This is Earl Grey. And this is hot chocolate, and this is biscotti. And this is a pretty reputable chocolate company in Canada. And so yeah, someday we're gonna sit down and have biscotti, and I'll have my hot chocolate and you can have tea. Yeah.
Your love beverage package.
Yeah.
Although that makes it sound weird. But I don't know what a love beverage is, but I'm sure I wouldn't want to taste it, I think. But,
that's a Motley Crue song right there.
Yeah, totally. I might write that one. You write the other one. What was the other one? I can't remember now. Something with the rhyme. I can't remember.
It's also gross.
Sucralose is also gross.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they could work together.
Ooh, because it is about, the love beverage. Sucralose is also gross, but you can drink my love beverage.
Oh, it's turned into Spinal Tap. That's like Spinal Tap.
Sucralose is also gross, but you can drink my love beverage.
Yes, wicked. Okay, right. If that's not on the album, then I'm going to be really disappointed now. At least the secret track. At least after the main trackers, after the main opus of despair has finished, then it can just pop in as a secret track, just to kind of like.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
Ian's got the right idea with the English breakfast right there. There
you go. You've got brew buddies.
Right, and Goldsby agrees that the sucralose is gross. Thank you.
So yeah, okay. And what's something that Morgan is always doing or saying? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in the agreement sense, but like she's always like, yeah, that was really cool, or that was really cool. Yeah, it's interesting when they do that. Yeah. Instead of
That's on
saying
the
like,
end,
you know,
more like a
right or
punctuation
don't you
point.
think?
Yeah. I also say hey.
Hey, that's the one.
Oh,
Yeah, hey. That's what it is.
needing
And apparently,
confirmation.
yeah, it's exactly what you
I
just
think you
said,
know all the time.
Yeah.
right? And apparently I've heard that that's like kind of an not a West Coast thing, but like my best friend says that a lot. And I know that I got it from her because people have told me that it's weird that I do that because nobody over here does it. And she's from Saskatchewan, so I think that's a Saskatchewanian, Saskatchewanian. I don't know, from Saskatchewan.
So what
Yeah.
she's saying is you're a Saskatchewan wannabe?
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
That's so funny.
I like it. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so favorite album ever. Let's go for Morgan's first. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Execution of All Things?
Yeah, that tracks.
You're supposed to answer at the
I
same
know.
time, though.
I know.
I think that works. I think that still works. Hey, as long as you win, Ben, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
It's funny because like I don't, unlike Ben, because Ben listens to whole albums, right? And growing up and now even, I think it's because of the fact that growing up I didn't really listen to albums. What I would do, and I think a lot of people did, is I would just go on the radio and I would wait for a song that I wanted to come on, and then I would just record it. And just like that, the infuriation when the radio host talks through the beginning of the song and you're just like, well, you just so like you have to like late at night where there's no host and they're just playing music, and so
so you get the whole thing, yeah, from with the intro and the outro.
Yeah, right. And so I never really got into
guitar solo.
Hmm?
Like, isn't that the worst? If it's a guitar solo and then the DJ comes in, it's like, no, just because it's guitar solo doesn't mean you
Yeah,
stop
I
talking
learned to hate him. One in particular, I can't remember what his name was, but he spoke with a lisp, and I hated him.
Okay, well, first of all, the lisp is neither here nor there, and I think that's insensitive of you.
That's what I remember about him, and I was like,
yeah.
10 to 15 basically. But he. So I didn't listen to full albums. Like the only albums that I can actually say that I've purchased is Execution of All Things.
Right.
And Jagged Little Pill.
Who's that by? Sorry, I'm still like in the dark.
Execution of All Things by Rilo Kiley.
By who?
Rilo Kiley, my favorite band.
I am afraid I don't know who that is at all.
So Jennifer Lewis is the lead singer there, and she's my favorite artist as well. She's done collaborations with Dead Cat Free Cutie and Postal Service. I don't know if you know them.
Right, yeah, I know Postal Service.
But if there's ever a female singer in either of those groups, that will probably be Jennifer Lewis.
In most cases.
In most cases, yeah. So you have probably heard her sing in the past. Also, if you're at all familiar with the movie The Wizard that came out in the 80s about this kid who was really good at video games, and it was the debut for Super Mario Brothers 3. The lead character, the lead female lead in that movie was also Jennifer Lewis. Randomly
Really?
tried acting when she was a kid and it didn't really work out. It was a terrible movie. Like, where was I going? Oh yeah, so I didn't really listen to albums growing up. So like I also listened to Dance Mix 95. But the second that I could start burning CDs is when I started burning CDs, right? Like,
yeah.
And so I would so I was a mixtape kid, really, is what I'm saying. So I don't, unlike Ben, who really appreciates, the flow of an album. And
the full
that artists put a lot of work into it. I never have. That's Jesse and Ben's.
Yeah, other people's jobs.
Thing.
Other people's jobs.
A lot of work goes into it, and I just listen to my Spotify playlists, and like I just don't albums.
So you like dipping. You like going to the buffet. You like going to the buffet table.
I think one album I can say that is perfect from like beginning to end, and I've listened to beginning to end, a lot of times because it was on YouTube for a while, beginning to end, was Plans by Postal Service.
No, Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah, Death Cab for Cutie. Yeah, by Death Cab for Cutie. Because I
get those two
confused just because I listened to it over and over again.
It's an era.
Anyway, so yeah.
It's an era thing, I think. Why you're confused. Okay, and then flipping that on its head, what is Ben's favorite album? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
OK Computer.
Yeah.
I
was totally.
You know what? I was.
Not only do I not listen to albums, I don't know the names of albums.
I can't hear what he's saying.
Sorry.
Well, sorry, I missed what you said.
Oh, I was just saying I was going to guess that as well. I shouldn't talk over you. Don't apologize for that. Yeah, I was going to guess that actually, strangely. So yeah, maybe just after seeing Idiotech the other day, and you thought, I bet you're an OK Computer person.
It's like, it's a kind of a typical answer. I know it's an extremely popular and like critically lauded album, and like I'd like to be a little more hipster about it, but it's just, it came out in '97. I bought it, and it, in many ways, like I'd already loved lots of, you know, I love Nirvana, and In Utero is up there with my favorite records, for example.
Sure.
But like, OK Computer just expanded the vocabulary of what I thought music could be. And it remains to this day something that I listen to regularly, which is why I choose it over something maybe newer or more sort of hipstery, and like, you know, it just is. It is what it is. It's really it's a brilliant record.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody want to be more hipster.
No,
well, you know, I'd like to seem cool and obscure, right? Like,
yeah, don't admit to wanting to be more hipster. He's just honest about it. You know,
so
most people like.
Lee, I have a joke for you.
Go for it.
How many hipsters does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Go on.
It's a really obscure number. You've probably never heard of it.
Okay, but
good. I like that.
How many singers does it take to screw in a light bulb?
None. They just stand there, and the world revolves around them.
How do you know when there's a singer at the door?
You totally broke up there.
Oh, I said, how do you know when there's a singer at the door? Because
I don't know.
Because they can't find the right key, and then when they can, they don't know when to come in.
Oh, nice.
That's cute. I like it.
Yeah, I've got a lot more, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, no, I'm filled with jokes. I could go for days. And they're all clean jokes, because I've been dating for a long time. For sure.
What's green and smells?
I don't know.
Kermit's bum.
That sounds like it was made up by a 5-year-old, which I appreciate.
Yeah, it was. I think it was made up by the lady who helps a lot with Quickfix recordings. Actually, it was her one joke that she'd always tell. So yeah. But yeah, I think she's been telling it since she was like 3. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's the only clean joke I know.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So okay, enough of the Mr. and Mrs. Thanks very much for joining us. It was really, really fun. I was going to say, actually, you don't need to sell OK Computer to me. I'm an Oxfordian, so like that album was probably like one of the seismic things that happened to Oxford as a city at the time. You know what I mean? So it's like everything Radiohead was hugely inspiring and daunting and everything at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like too big a shadow to live in, but also hugely exciting because it threw a huge spotlight on the city. I doubt this label would exist, actually, being honest, if not for Radiohead throwing a huge light on Oxford, and then there being a healthy band scene that, and people who bought music back then as well. That was good. You know? So yeah. Ian Strong is asking, do you like Manson, as in Manson, the English indie band who did Wide Open Space and stuff like that?
I haven't listened enough to them. I recall the sort of couple of singles that I think was late 90s, particularly, that they were sort of on the verge of breaking.
Yeah, very much so. Mid to late, yeah. I would highly recommend.
I assume
their second album, 6, is actually a big long concept thing, and really quite like for someone who really likes albums and concepty things, I think you'll get a big kick out of it. It's really broad reaching and wide and changes up and everything. Oh, there you go. Six, the 1998 album is awesome. Yeah, so I really would recommend it. Yeah, it's really good. It's kind of like, it's like Radiohead with even more ideas, but also ambition to be popular, if you know what I mean. So it kind of like goes off on like, oh, I'm going to be really catchy now, but also I'm going to be really elaborate and weird. Do you know what I mean? It's a proper, yeah, schizophrenic record. Well, going back to the schizomic.
What I'll be listening to on my walk tonight.
Yeah, do it. You'll end up doing at least the first half. You have to do as like one. You can't really break from it, you know. So yeah. Okay, wicked. That was entertainment as far as I'm concerned. Let's have one more song and then people really can't complain, is what I figure. And thank you so much for joining us. It's been obviously a wonderful pleasure just working with you in general. Actually, it's really good fun. I like it. So so thanks very much, and great music. And everybody go and support the Blackout Orchestra, and also buy It's Fine and stream It's Fine, and just be fine in general, right?
I like that plan.
Thanks very much. Get out of your way. What are you going to play for us?
We're going to play Siren Song from our album.
Awesome.
The acoustic
just before I go, quick shout out to Denise, who's running our Facebook now. So thank you, Denise. Doing a great job. And yeah, and take care, guys. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. That's cute. Did you see Goldsby just quoted one of our songs?
Oh yeah.
That's cute. I love it.
Do we want to do Blue Skies then?
Yeah, you want it?
You know what? We're changing it up. We're doing Nothing But Blue Skies, also from our album.
Feel free to do whatever you like.
Thanks for gonna.
Doubt you ever hear this. I just want someone to know. Came into my life when I needed someone most. And I'm sorry for the couldn't call. I'm not sorry for the show. I'm not sorry that we built something, even if we couldn't make it go. I know. Alright, just make it through tonight. Some morning you'll be fine. There'll be nothing but blue skies. Nothing but blue skies. Blue skies. Someday you hear this, and I hope by then you're proud of the time we spent together, walking underneath dark clouds. And I hope now that you're happy, and I hope you're having fun. And I hope the clouds have gone away, and I hope you're in the sun. I know. Alright, just make it through tonight. Some morning you'll be fine. There'll be nothing but blue skies. I know you'll be alright. Just make it through tonight. Some morning you'll be fine. There'll blue skies, blue skies.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
Just as I stood off to the side, and outside my window there's a perfect blue sky, and then do you know those blossom things that are called like kisses? You know, they're like little kind of things that float. There were two of them like stuck next to each other, and they just wafted past the window up against the blue sky as you were playing that, and it's pretty perfect.
Do you need milkweed? Like those little milkweed fluffs?
I thought those were dandelion puffs.
Well, milkweeds are
Those
bigger.
things that you kind of, when you find one, you're supposed to like kiss it and then blow it away to like someone that you.
We do not call them that, but I like that adorable tradition that you just introduced me to. What we do, my tradition is you're supposed to catch it and then make a wish and then blow it off your hand for the next person.
Ah, we like what I was told, you have to like catch and then kiss it and blow it to someone that you care about. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'll expect one now that you know the tradition. I'm gonna, if I get one, I know who it's from. So that's
very sweet. I love that. Your version
right.
is
Okay, guys.
so
Thanks very much.
yeah.
Thanks very much. That was great fun. Yeah, I don't know how to disconnect this, so I'm gonna like, Grace, help me. But yeah, thanks guys. Take care of yourselves. Yeah.
Just close the
Feel
window.
free to disconnect. I'll play us out with like another remix as you disconnect.
All right.
Happy Bandcamp Friday. And thanks everybody for joining. Okay, that